The clock just chimed, so here we go. QST, QST, QST. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's edition of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is a directed net, and we request that all calls go through net control. The net meets every 2 weeks on a Thursday at 8 p.m. local Malta time, 7 p.m. GMT. Let's see, what else? I'd like to thank everybody for checking in, because after all, without you, there wouldn't be a net. I'd like to thank the trustees of the repeaters for keeping all the machines up and running and granting us permission to use their machines to carry on our net. And I'd like to thank Anthony for all the work that he does and others in making sure that the net just goes on like clockwork every 2 weeks. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Let's take some check-ins. How about that? M7APW standing by.
Golf Zero, Bravo, India Alpha. Name's Ian. Very good evening to you, Jerry. I think Charles is there, and I'm not sure if Antoine isn't there. This is Golf Zero, Bravo, India Alpha, where the time in the UK is 7 o'clock British summer time, or if you want, it's 1800 GMT. If I'm right, or am I wrong? Never mind. That's it for me.
This is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra, Charles, in the beautiful town of Sleerman, which is very heavily being built more and more and more, checking in and standing by.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, checking in from the island of Malta.
Vista B4 PVT checking in.
Okie dokie, I acknowledge G0BIA, 9H1FBS, 9H5FA, and WB4PVT. Good afternoon to you, Charlie. Anybody else wanting to check into the net this evening? This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. Alrighty, hearing nothing at this time from the rainy town of Sheridan, Wyoming, where the temperature is about, I guess it's about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately, what is that, 13 degrees Celsius, if my math is still right. We have rain today. It's rare. It's very, very, very rare that it rains. But of course, we're not exactly in any kind of drought situation, because over the winter 60 plus inches of snow fell and they have all melted away, and so now we're looking for a nice late spring and summer, and hopefully not a terribly warm one, because way in the south that weather is totally unreal, and I'm sure Charlie will probably agree, WB4PVT, because even the tornadoes. When I lived down in Texas, I don't seem to remember tornadoes running around between December and March, but this year they never went away. Okay, let's see who goes first. Ian, good evening to you. Nice to hear you smiling. I hope everything is well. Golf Zero, Bravo, India, Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, G0BIA Internet. Very good evening to everybody. Jerry and Charles and Antoine, nice to hear you on there. I think I finally solved the problem of the notification of the net going into my junk file every fortnight. And I use Firefox these days for emails, so I told it to accept it from the website. So we'll see what happens. So I did a bit of looking at the website for the net, and I didn't realise I'd been on almost every week since February. I couldn't see anything prior to February of what was recorded, but it was nice to see it there and see who's actually been on from time to time who I've missed. Why I got mixed with the times, I always run my radios at GMT, which of course you quoted local time here, but it's actually, I go by GMT, which is, it's 1806 at the moment on all my logbooks. It's just habit. WX, well, I've got 11.5 degrees in the shade and 11.5 degrees wind chill. So it's been a dry day. It's not been too bad at all. We've had some nice sunshine. The garden in spring, most of the spring flowers have had their time now, the tulips, the daffodils and so on and so forth, and we've had fantastic plum blossom this year. First time in about 5 years, so I'm hoping at the end of the season I'll be able to make some plum jam. I've only got one bottle left of some I made 5 years ago in 2017. But it's very nice, it's well matured, so I'm looking forward to that. Radio wise, a couple of QSOs now and again on DMR, but other than that, it's keeping the home fires burning, so to speak, and jobs around the house and what have you. So that's about the strength of it, Jerry. Nice to hear you on, and I'm hoping now to be able to remember to come on alternate Thursdays. I think I finally lost my contact with 9H-HAM Alpha Juliet. I think primarily, his smartphone failed, and he doesn't know how to get it back onto WhatsApp. I just hope he's okay. So there we go. They're all my contact with Malta. There we are. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, Golf 0, Bravo, India Alpha.
Very good, Ian. G0BIA and 7APW returning. Very good indeed. Well, I was telling Anthony earlier on before the net that we had about 3 feet of snow on the grass, and it just finally melted. And the tulips came out, and the deer who roam our neighborhood came over and had a blast. Apparently, tulips must taste very good, and perhaps even a delicacy to the deer. Because while my wife was waiting for them to bloom completely, the deer had other thoughts in mind. So that's the way it goes. But we enjoy the deer. They roam around our town freely all year round, and every year they come back and show us their babies, and they've become a part of the town. And also we have rabbits that run around, and Mr. and Mrs. Duck. And we also have wild turkeys that roam all the neighborhoods of town, and they keep coming all the time. And in a little enclosure, well, not a little, but in an enclosure around the corner from where I live, we have a very small herd of buffalo, perhaps about 6 of them, that reside year-round, and also coexist with the elk that are also in the same enclosure. So it's very interesting. Let me give a pause here. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, "It sounds like I live at the zoo." Maybe not a bad idea. Charlie, good evening to you. 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sugar with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Okay, N7APW, 9H1FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Well, if you want to contact with Malta on WhatsApp, I am on WhatsApp, Ian. I'll send you my telephone number via email. So that's, we had a wonderful day today. It was nice. No wind to speak of. Then it became a bit breezy during the afternoon. I went out with 3 gentlemen, friends of mine. Well, one of them has been a friend for a long, long time, and he introduced me to his other 2 friends, and we had a very nice day in Mjar and Jnana, and we went for a meal. We enjoyed it tremendously, and hence I think I have started on my suntan. So there you go. It was, I don't know what the temperature was, but definitely above 20 degrees Celsius. I think it was about 22 or 23, maybe even 24 today. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I really enjoyed the outing tremendously. So, back to you, Jerry, on 7APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is 9H1FBS.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. 9H1FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Well, it sounds like it's time for the postman to change uniforms from their winter uniform to their nice khaki uniform, including shorts. I used to enjoy when that happened. Nice and comfortable, enjoying the outdoors and delivering mail. Nothing like it. Let's see, who's next? Anthony, good evening to you. 9 Hotel 5, Fox Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
N7APW, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Yeah, first of all, I have to apologize. I mean, Ian mentioned it was going through the web page, the log web page of the of this net, and my apologies are, but I have to update it. I haven't updated it for some time. I've got all the data. I've got all the logs neatly into a file, but I haven't actually put them up on the page. There is a reason for that, because I was trying to modify the page a bit, because at the moment there are so many events that you have, when you scroll to see the new ones, you lose the column with the names. So I was trying to modify it so that the names column remains there. I didn't get down to do it yet, but I have to update it, so apologies for that. But yeah, it's on my to-do list. The other thing I wanted to mention was that Steve, 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox, sent me a message on via Messenger saying that he can't join today, but he asked me to inform everyone that Marconi Amateur Radio Circle, the MARC, so the will be organizing a field day on Monday, 1st May. So this is a public holiday, right? This is next Monday, 1st May. It will be outside the club, the Marconi club, and they will be there from 8 o'clock from 8:30 in the morning, setting up antennas and setting up equipment. And the idea is that anyone can come in and they'll be transmitting, and they can play with antennas and radios. And there's also a post on the Marconi Facebook page with some information. So I am notifying this on the net as well. And okay, so back to you, net control. I'll this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Back to you, net control. Sorry.
That's quite all right. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey returning. Very good. Do they know do they have any set frequencies they're going to operate on? That would be interesting. HF has been wide open. I don't even have a tuned antenna for HF. I'm using the chain link fence that surrounds the back of the yard, and signals from Europe on 20 and 40 are just 5 and 9 plus 20. And like I said, it's just a chain link fence. So I'm going to have to put up some kind of antenna, because apparently the sunspot cycle and the bands are pretty wide open. And I'm also hearing some repeaters off of 10 meters as well, and that's exciting too, especially at night. So let me pass it back to you, Anthony. Do they have any fixed frequencies that they're going to operate on that you know of? 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. I'm looking at the Facebook page, and Steve didn't specify or didn't give me any frequencies, but I'm looking at the Facebook page, at the Marconi Club Facebook page, and the notice that there is doesn't make reference to any frequencies. However, the Mark Facebook page does have a messaging facility, which Steve himself usually replies to, and he replies usually very quickly, very rapidly. So perhaps we could just ask him, send him a message. I'm not seeing any frequencies mentioned. They'll be operating, I understand, on 9H1 MRC, which is the call sign of the club. I guess they'll be operating on 9H1 MRC. But no, there are no frequencies mentioned here. But please, anyone, feel free to message Steve via the Facebook Messenger tool, and he replies fairly quickly. 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha returning to November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Very good, Anthony. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha with the net and 7 APW. Yeah, I'll send him a note. Incidentally, I've become the communications guy for our local ham radio club, and a lot of the members of the club are DX chasers, and so they would be interested to know that as well. And so I'll probably be posting it with permission on our webpage as well, and I'm in charge of that too. So it's all fun. But I also would like to contact both Maltese clubs to ask them to send me any information of activities that either club is having, just like this one we were talking about, so that we can announce it on the net. I think this is a great place to do that. Okay, very well done. Thank you very much for all you do, Anthony. You do a lot of stuff, especially behind the scenes, but without it, this wouldn't happen. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, this is N7APW, continuing with the net. Charlie, it's your turn, WB4PVT. How is life in the world treating you, Charlie? N7APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
This is before PVT. You were asking about the frequency. I just went over to hamcall.net. That's HAMCALL.net, and looked up the 9H-1 MRC, and it gives all the packet spots that they've had for the month, really. So if you were looking to contact them, that's the way to go. Also, I've been sick. I've had vertigo, so I've been staying at home, but it's pretty well gone now, so that's been taken care of. The weather here has been great. We haven't had any of the tornadoes. When the storms start to come, they hit the mountains just west of here, and that kind of calms them down. Right now it's 70 degrees, 20 for y'all in Malta, so it's a very nice day out here. Also, I gave a talk at the Virginia Beach DX Club earlier this month on Malta, and they seemed to be rather excited about it. And one of them said, "Can I bring my radio with me?" And I said, "Well, I guess you could, but you might be able to use the MRC Club's radios." So anyway, there's some people excited about that. The Dayton Ham Fest is coming up in May, the middle of May, which I'm going to be going to that. I haven't missed any since early 2000, or maybe earlier than that. It's one of the world's largest, well, it is the world's largest ham fest. The next largest one is there in Germany. Here, the telephone company updated my fiber. I have a fiber optics cable that comes straight to the house, and it's a number of years old, so they updated it. And I've got some pretty good internet speed, but I don't need a lot of speed, so 130 is fine for me. The only major problem I had is there's a D-Star repeater working out of my garage, and it's up on my tower, the antenna, and it knocked that out, so it took us a while to reconfigure everything and get it going. So that's about the things going on here. I'm still taking geology at the local college. Got to go out on a boat with young college girls to look at some fossil formations on some cliffs. So it's been pretty rough having to do things like that. But anyway, like I said, everybody was happy about Malta. They really enjoyed the presentation. This is WB4 PVT Claire.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. WB4 PVT and 7APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. A couple of questions for you before you clear out. One is, are you going to have any ham radio equipment at Dayton? And how many presentations on Malta have you given so far to the various clubs? Charlie, go ahead.
The dog is going crazy here. The cleaning ladies just showed up, and he gets barking like crazy. Answer the second question first. I think this is number 6 that I've given, and it's really broken up into 3 parts. The first part is on Tropo Radio, and that was the reason I was there, was because of a communication link from Europe to North Africa when the Americans had an Air Force base there. And that's pretty short. And then I did one on amateur radio there, the pictures of the club, the antennas and all that. And some of the other stuff is just sightseeing stuff, Camino. I had a problem. I tried to take pictures of the water to show it's very clear, crystal clear, beautiful, but every time I went to take a picture, some young girl would be standing in the middle of the picture with her bikini, and but anyway, people still want to see as many of those as possible. I didn't understand the question about the first part about the amateur radio at Dayton. Over.
Oh, I was wondering whether you're going to take maybe a handy-talkie, whether it's DMR, analog, or anything like that with you to Dayton. Charlie, go ahead.
I hate to say it, but no. We haven't taken a radio in years. When I first started going, cell phones were just coming out, so it wasn't good communication, but we would pick a simplex frequency and operate from Dayton. But I'll probably take one, probably a D-Star radio with me, but very seldom we use it. If you want a radio, that's where to buy it. You can get a good deal. I think it was last year, the year before last, I won the D-Star HT from ICOM. They have a drawing two times, twice on Saturday and Friday. I don't know if they do one on Sunday, third day of the Ham Fest. But they give away a Go package, which is a knapsack, a hat, trivial stuff. Then the next one is HT, which I could really use, and that's what I won. Then they give away their mobile radio, and then they give away their base station radio that runs up a couple of $1,000. So they have a lot of drawings there where you can win a radio at Dayton. It's WE4 PVT.
Well, very good, Charlie. Thank you for that information. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Are there any other check-ins for the net this evening? Okay, I hear nothing, and let me ask again, and then we'll continue. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. Are there any late check-ins or anything with anything else for the net? I say everybody's at the beach. I think we ought to get one of these nets and everybody go somewhere portable, at the beach, on a bus. I think that would be exciting and interesting. I'm quite sure that the 9H1 UHF repeater and the 9H1 DMR repeater have good coverage, and it would be kind of fun. Perhaps one of the next few nets coming up. Just a thought. Anything else for the net before I close the net this evening? I'll stand by. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. Can I take you for a second? D0BIA?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, with 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, 9 Hotel 1 FBS, and Whiskey Bravo 4 Papa Victor Tango. Right, noted, Charles, your offer of WhatsApp. By all means, sir, you've got my email address in the in QRZ. It is the up-to-date one. I look forward to that and having a chat with you on the smartphone, dare I say. But it is radio, isn't it? So that's fine. And you, Charles, Jerry, sorry, with your, when I told you about the spring flowers and you told me all about the wildlife, well, you certainly got a menagerie round you, haven't you? I think that's the right word. Somebody said zoo, but I suppose it must be nice to be a bit like India, where the cattle roam the streets by all accounts. And Anthony, thanks for the information about the the open day or the fest on Malta on Monday, you brought back memories of one which must be about 10 years ago now. My main times in Malta, apart from my service career there, was between 2009 and 2017. So I think I went up onto as an open day with various masts and things and all the club from Marl at the time. And I seem to remember I know what it is, 9H-HAM I think his name was Robin. And he took a mast up and he was showing people waterfalls, and I'd not a clue as to what he was talking about, because at that time, 2009, as some of you will remember, about 4 or 5 VHF repeaters on the net, and they were very, very busy on Malta, very, very busy. But that Hamfest we had up on the hills, just to the north of Antofia, I think it was, on the tops there. Not quite on the top of Dingley Cliffs, but near some church, which I can't remember its name, but as you know, there are plenty of churches in Malta. Nothing else. But I'll certainly make a point of calling into 9H-1 UHF on Monday, maybe a couple of 3 times. I'm sure somebody will be monitoring the repeater. And if you do speak to Marco, give him my best regards. It's a long time since I've spoken to him and seen him. The same with 9H-1 GP. It'd be nice to hear him on the net, as well as Sierra Fox and Juliet Lima and 1 or 2 others. But there we go. Lots of memories Malta has for me, and that sounds like me timing out. So I'm going to wish you all very best 73s. Alayla Tayeb, and we'll see you in the next fortnight's time. Take it away, Jerry.
Pause so that all the equipment will recycle here. Yeah, that brings memories of when I got my license on Malta, my 9H-1 call sign. I always wanted to operate or set up HF or even VHF or UHF from one of the 14 towers that surround the island, those Winyacourt towers, because they're all very nicely situated. The best one, I think, is the one either on Camino or else the one between Ain Tafihah and Jnaina. That one just, I'm going, look, you're surrounded by water. What a nice takeoff on HF and VHF, and they could be towers on the air as opposed to peaks on the air or whatever, low power, and it could be a lot of fun, and I'm sure it would probably attract a crowd as well. I'm not sure whether those towers are open to the public on a regular basis, but I think that would be a lot of fun. Of course, give me any place on Camino, and I'll be a happy guy. Enough said. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Are there any late check-ins or any other traffic for the net?
And 780PW, 9H5FA.
Okay, get your tent out. We're going to go camp at Jnaina on the ridge. There's also a good cave over there that will protect us from weather. Okay, Anthony, enough silliness. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
and 7APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Jerry, actually, that might be a good idea as another net activity which we could organize with the clubs. Involves more work than with the radio, with the BKR radio station, but I don't know, perhaps we could organize a number of stations around Malta, some critical points, and Gozo as well. I don't know, we've got to think about it, but it could be something to plan ahead for. And I mean, there are several people in the clubs who have, portable equipment they can set up, and portable antennas and all sorts of things. And so, well, it might be doable if we choose some sort of interesting sites. There could be, well, I'm not sure about the towers and the availability, but there are historical sites which you could set up which were accessible. And yeah, we could even get the either Malta Historical Society or something like that on board. We need to talk about this, Jerry. And 7APW. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Yeah, I like that idea. I really do. And and I was thinking maybe all the towers were what's the right verb I'm looking for? Owned? No, it's not that, but supervised by or controlled by or whatever, one department, and we could go to them and ask permission to go in there. And even if you set up a J-pole, a 2-meter or 440 J-pole, I bet you most of those towers, because of the way they are, could hit 9H1 UHF or 9H1 DMR. And if we can get people to be at the different sites, and then we'd all have the net, I think that would be great. And alternatively, alternately, we can do it from interesting historical sites, temples. The catacombs would be interesting too, or Mdina, somewhere in Mdina. I know a perfect place in Mdina for an antenna, and you don't even have to ask permission. On the Sur, that you can look over and see all of the island almost, from Tarfa to St. Paul's Bay, and you go across all the way over at Tard and all that. So, and I have put a homemade dipole on there, and I could hear and hit more Italian repeaters, and this was in '75, than I could hit from anywhere else. So it's interesting. Yeah, let's keep that in mind. Let me pass it back to you for any comments, perhaps, or anybody else for that matter. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Seven APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Yeah, I know exactly where that Sur is, where that, and there's a very popular cafeteria there. Yeah, I think it's something to consider and think about. And if we select sites or if we select a site which can't hit the repeater, we can set up our own crossband repeater to bridge the link. I mean, my ICOM base station here was actually a mobile station using as a base, but it can double up as a crossband repeater. It's a 50-watt crossband repeater, and this is perfect. I mean, it can be good sort of set up our own crossbands to link, to bridge the distance to link to the 9H1 UHFR. So yeah, we have the technology and we have the equipment. Might be an excellent idea, actually. We need to talk about this, Jerry. I don't know. We need to talk about it. I may have been putting my foot in it, but obviously we need support of the clubs and several people who have equipment. Yeah, I can see Fortu, you know, I mean, getting into this with, I mean, he's got all the mobile equipment one could possibly need. 9-7-APW, 9H-5FA.
Freeze-all to 0 BIA Gone QRT.
Cheers, Ian. Have a good night. Okay, very good. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Losing my voice. How about that? Hold on one moment. There we go. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about this. It's I think it's nice to do, especially around summer. You know, the evenings are long, etc. And it would be fun. It would be fun to do once in a while, and it's a good exercise too in emergency communications once you stop and think about it, because most power will be supplied as if we didn't have any commercial power where we're going to be, and antennas and equipment and everything else. So it's a very good exercise at the same time. You know, what we're doing here in our club lately, we're doing what's called a Go Pack, and the Go Pack is basically a small suitcase with all the wires and equipment that you would need in case there was an emergency and you needed to operate from a remote site that did not have commercial power. So that's kind of a good exercise. It takes time, but it can be done, and we've all seen how well the communication when the International Space Station was. It was right on the money, and it was perfect, and that was all due to the talent, time, and effort of all the hands involved. So that was great. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Any other check-ins? Any other comments?
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Name is Chris. Checking in quite late, came home late. I just wanted to tell you guys good evening and good afternoon to everyone. Back to net control. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Chris, it's nice to hear your voice. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Have you checked in? Thank you for coming up and checking in. We're talking about perhaps one of the nets, excuse me, one of the nets being held from different sites, whether they're historic or, you know, I started talking about the different Winiacourt towers that are around the islands, and then everybody checking into a net and having some fun that way too, especially now that summer is coming around. I hope you're doing well, Chris. I don't know whether you have anything else for the net, but I'll give a pause, and if you do, please come back. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Chris, it sounds like a very interesting project, especially now that the weather is getting better. If such a project is done in future, I'd be happy to help out in any way I can. I consider myself a novice in anything ham related, particularly antenna construction. I'm absolute newbie, but if it's an opportunity for me to learn, I'd be willing to help out in any way I can. Okay, so November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, Chris.
Well, very good, Chris. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Well, don't ever forget that we all started from square one. I don't think anybody started from square four, and if they did, I have a feeling they had to go back to square one to get it all straight. So we all started at square one, and then some of the stuff we learned through reading, and most of the stuff we learned through doing, and someone sharing with us their knowledge. And that's the way it goes, and I really enjoy that. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Anything else for the net before I close the net this evening? Well, hearing nothing, I'd like to thank everybody for checking into the net, listening to what we have to say, and also participating in the net. I'd like to invite everybody to check in again in 2 weeks' time at the same time on the same frequency for another edition of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. In the meantime, I wish everybody the best, especially some warmer days, and perhaps a day or two at the beach. Why not? And come back and tell me all about it. 73s to all, keep smiling and have a great evening. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. The net is closed and we are clear.